Alrighty, here we are again. Probably been about a couple of weeks or so. I took my car out to do some test hits after getting everything done. You can see where I have a ring deck surface here where I've got some steel wire in here. I was using a composite gasket to help seal the combustion chamber a little bit more. Made some test hits, but unfortunately my ignition system sucks and is not up to par. So I've since upgraded, or I've spent about $1,500 on an upgraded alternator, and the one back there now was new off of eBay, but it's just not doing the job. And so I've upgraded to a better alternator that's already here. And Mike from Busher Racing, I've ordered a M&W ignition box with a coil on plug kit, getting rid of the spark plug wires, doing everything I can. I'm not going to screw around. But the problem I had with the ignition issues, as you can see right here, got a little bit hot, and did a little bit of damage to the surface of my engine block. So what I'm gonna have to do, I took my wire out of this one. This part right here is protruded up a little bit, and as you can see over here, I want to go look at my head. It did a little damage there, so that's just from my ignition missing. My air fuel ratios were good until it miss, and those lean spikes that you get if you see in your log, if it starts breaking up, this is a lesson. Anytime you see it where it's breaking up, let out. Okay, it burned up my head, burned up my gasket, and now I get all this wonderful stuff. So I'm having to get a new cylinder head put on it. But what I'm going to do in the meantime, I'm going to, I got some JB Weld over here I'm going to try and use to try and see if I can do a little cheap ghetto repair here. Now, of course, yes, JB Weld, and some of y'all are probably saying, hold on, I got to wipe my fingers off here. Some of y'all are probably saying that's not a good way to repair your engine block, especially if you're doing a lot of power or getting a lot of power. I've got a spare 6-bolt I'm going to try and use. I'm gonna have to save up some money, send off to Mike, see if he can get it fixed for me. But right now I don't have the money unless somebody's got $3,000 or $4,000 they want to fork over for me to get this all taken care of, to get another block built. Sure, send away. But in the meantime, I don't have that. I don't have those deep pockets that other folks do, so I'm having to do what I can do just to make it work. If I torch another head or it leaks, whatever the case, oh well, I'm doing what I can do in the meantime because I'm trying to enjoy this car and not let it sit here for forever. So basically I'm just putting the JB Weld here in the spot where it was cooked a little bit, just trying to fill in the little hole there, and then I'm going to scrape off the excess. So first lesson, if your engine is breaking up while you're getting on it, let off the gas. So I was just in it a little bit too long. It doesn't take very long for it to heat up, obviously. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to scrape off any excess that I can get here and try and make that level. So I'm going to flip that back over, see if I can fill that in just to make sure it's all good to go. Make sure it's down in there good. I do not want any issues with that. I'm gonna wipe off my razor blade here real good, and then once this dries, I'm gonna scrape off the excess one more time. But after this dries, I'll come back and use some sandpaper, some fine grit sandpaper, and sand it down real good, and then I'll put my wire in and good to go. Looks like that's filling it in pretty good. Just want to make sure it's nice and flat. And I'll show my logs after a while. Yeah, that's pretty flat, just a little discoloration there. We'll let that dry, sand it down, and then put more wire in it. But that's where we're at for now. So we'll let that dry, sand it down, come back and get my wire in it. So. All right, so you just saw what my head and my head gasket is looking like on my block. And here's one of my logs from what caused it here. So we'll just go over it real quick.
This portion right here with the dotted line down here, my air fuel ratio estimate, this is my target for my nitrous, of course. I'm not dialed in here. Nitrous wasn't turned on anyway in this regard because I was going leaner than what I was targeting. Um, so that's not really a big deal. That's something I wanted to dial in before I actually start spraying in that regard. Um, but this is the section where I'm letting off, or not letting off. This is where my nitrous is getting shut off based on the parameters I had set up. So as you can see, it overshot a little bit, went a little bit lean, but it came back down, started going the rich side. And of course, keeping in mind, this is all new parts. I'm still trying to dial things in. I don't have everything dialed in exactly, but on the top end, I had it relatively close, except for the spot where, as you see here, this little spike here, this is where it's going to go lean because of a miss. And if you look here, my battery voltage, let's just pull up that line there. My battery voltage drops, and that's where my problem really starts shining there. I'm about 13.4 volts. Um, it's a little bit lower, right around 13. But when I really start getting into it, the alternator just can't keep up. Okay, so that's probably my biggest problem there. And this doesn't take very long for this to really be a problem. From this point where I have this first spike where it goes lean to the end of the log, if I just drag this down to where I finally let off the gas, it's only about 1.6 seconds. So that's not very long to be having that sort of a problem where things can go bad real quick. So that being said, hopefully my stupid idiotic self and my mistakes, helps to keep some of you from avoiding the same problems that I just caused myself because I was being a little bit greedy on the throttle, hoping it would be clearing up. Why I would think that, I don't know. But anyway, that being said, can't do anything about it now other than just fix it and just learn from my mistakes. So hopefully my mistakes are a lesson to you guys so you don't do what I did. But this is my own personal car. I know how to tune. I'm not stupid. If anyone else was doing this, I'd be asking them, hey, why are you staying in the throttle? Why aren't you getting out? I know what to look for, but, when I'm doing it myself, I'm wanting to go. So they've been down for a while. I just want to go. But anyway, you see the spike here. Um, another one here where, that's another miss, and then the RPMs kick down a little bit. I can't tell if that's where I was maybe I had shifted gears, or if this is where the gasket blew, which might have been it. The gasket blew, and it's just keeping my RPMs down due to that issue. So obviously, boost is going up and down there as well. Um, so anyway, if you are feeling a miss, if you are seeing it lean, I guess my advice to you: let off the throttle, get the problem fixed, fix the issue, then go back at it. Um, it's not going to get any better by staying in it. Obviously, you see by my issues here, right here, staying in it definitely did not fix my issue. So resolve the issue, then go back to it and go from there. But I'm waiting for more parts to go in, upgrade my alternator so I have a higher voltage. It can only put out so much if your voltage is low. I mean, 12.6 volts, the wide open throttle, it's just not going to have the voltage there or the power to ignite the fuel there if the alternator is not going to put out what it needs to. So I could possibly keep my plugs and spark plug wires and my stock coils and probably be just fine if I just upgraded my alternator. But I don't want to screw around with it. I'm tired of having the problems. I've been dealing with ignition issues for quite a while now. So I'm just trying to upgrade to the best parts I can possibly get. So trying to get an upgraded alternator, coil and plug with a good ignition box, and see if that hopefully resolves my issues. And then when I get it back going, let's see where I go from there. Then maybe hopefully if everything's going well, not breaking up, maybe I can crank up the boost a little bit higher and get where it needs to be. But anyway, just want to point this out for you guys. Hopefully it's a lesson learned for definitely a lesson learned for me what not to do. And battery voltage is a good one to monitor. I do see a lot of people where they're not monitoring battery voltage. That is an important one to be looking at. So if you are having these problems, this one parameter could possibly be an issue as to why. So it's very good to monitor that parameter if you're not doing so already. But anyway, that's it for this one. Just stay tuned. When I get it back up and running, once again, I'll post up some more. Go from there. Hopefully, I'll have good news the next video I've got when it's actually running. So, I guess we'll see. Wish me luck. Y'all have a good one.